New year, new me, new branding. I've got an absolute convention marathon coming up and I've got lots of ideas on how I want to change and improve my branding for this year. So that's what we're gonna work on today. There are so many different things that go into an artist alley setup, from the overall color scheme you want to use to your business cards, your logo if you have one, your tablecloth and banner, signage. All of that are the things that kind of make your whole booth come together. And there are also things you can use for your online presence, which I really want to kind of create a more cohesive look for the posts that I make and for the way that I package stuff. Packaging is also a big one. I've been thinking about this quite a bit, and after about a year and a half of doing Artist Alley and making my first ever table to slowly adding to it and trying out new things, I think I'm starting to get a more clear idea of where I want this to be headed. So I'm very excited to take you guys with me today because we're gonna have lots of fun designing stuff. The first thing I would like to start out with is making a logo, because we're gonna be able to use that in quite a few of the things that I want to make. And I thought a lot about what direction I want to go in. Do I want to do something that's based on a font that already exists? Do I want to do something hand lettered? Because I haven't really had a proper set logo before. I've made a couple of different sort of signs and things that had my username on it, like Tamagoyani on this like big yellow sign I used to have, and I also wrote it on my banner, but it was always different, and I kind of want to have a bit more consistency and make like one main sort of like name tag written logo. And actually we're gonna have a little bit of help with that today, so let me introduce today's sponsor. This video is brought to you by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning platform that offers thousands of classes made by creatives like photographers, illustrators, and designers to help you out if you want to pick up a new skill. And since I'm not the most proficient in graphic design, but I really want to learn more about it, I found the perfect class to guide me along as I worked on my new logo design. This class teaches you how to make your own word marks step by step, starting from creating mood boards to picking your color palette and fonts and bringing it all together in the end. Like I mentioned earlier, I was kind of trying to figure out if I wanted to use a pre-made typeface or something hand lettered, and something I really appreciated about the class was that the designer also shared some resources on where to find interesting fonts for your project, and I ended up using some of the things I found as inspiration to come up with a hand lettered logo. So I figured out which characteristics of my favorite fonts I liked and wanted to implement into my own design, and that's also something I kind of enjoyed about doing the class. I took the things that were relevant to me and adapted those to my workflow to create a process that suited me and my project. One point that really stuck with me from the class was to think about how you can use type, or in my case lettering, to really convey a story or a feeling. And since I went for an all green color scheme, I also wanted to see that reflected in the way I drew my letters. I made 2 main iterations, and this is the final result, and I really love how it turned out. Having the class to guide me along was super helpful, and I feel like it was way less intimidating to get started that way. So if you also want to pick up a new creative skill or hobby, I think you'll find what you're looking for on Skillshare. The first 500 people to use my link in the description or scan the QR code will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Thanks again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video, and let's continue. Guys, my tablecloth and banner arrived, so I'm gonna show them to you. Ta-da! Okay, let me just... Don't be upset, I already opened the package. Isn't it so cute? I love the colors, they turn out so nice. I was really hoping that they would translate well into the print on the fabric, because I feel like there's always a little bit of like a margin of error with how the colors display on your monitor or your laptop screen to how they will actually look in print, not just because every monitor is calibrated a little bit differently, but also because like this is quite the unique surface, right? You know, fabric. So you can't be entirely sure how the color is gonna look, but this is very nice. Oh, and also important to note, this is a fireproof cloth or blanket, so it should be okay to use at any event. At least in Germany, it's really important that your tablecloth isn't like able to catch fire easily. It's part of the like regulations. So sometimes they actually walk around and, you know, will check your tablecloth with like a little lighter if you don't have a certificate to show them. They can be kind of strict on that and kind of hardcore. But here's part 2, the banner. So it's just like a really long table runner. It's the same light green color as on the tablecloth. But the interesting part is obviously this, which is going to be at the front of the table. So we have the logo on here that we designed, and this little mascot clover person, and I really like it. I think it's gonna be so cute. I like that it's very monochromatic, it's all green. This is going to look super nice at the convention. Yes, I'm so excited. I love when things work out. Also, this is like pretty nice. I ordered this with like a sewn, what would you call this? A hem, so it's not gonna fray. It's all green. That was my haul that I wanted to show you. I also have some prints that should be coming today. The mail person hasn't come yet, so I'm kind of worried that it won't come, or that they that they like just decided not to ring my bell because they were like, you know, we're not gonna bother. Because sometimes I feel like they do that. Because like then you get that like paper slip where it says, oh, we missed you on Monday at 2 p.m. or whatever, and I'm like, I know I was at home Monday 2 p.m. and you for a fact did not ring my doorbell. Rant over. We got more stuff to do and more stuff to make, so let's move on. I feel like working on some cute packaging, so let's do that. So I'm going to add that onto all of these packages. I wasn't sure if I wanted to put the labels like here, this part, or here. Kind of a big gap in the package right there. So I think it looks better like this. Something I'm also trying to put a little bit more effort and thought into is my packaging, which I think is a really big part of your branding and also improves the overall customer experience. So the perfect place for me to try this out was my new Final Fantasy VII Maid Cafe bundle, which contains multiple stickers, a keychain, acrylic standee, 2 prints, and also this little tin storage box, which has all the smaller items in it. It was a lot of work, but a lot of fun to put together. What's really going to make this stand out at my table and make it sell is the presentation. So I spent some time designing these thermal labels to stick on the packaging of the standees, which I got these really cute green ones, which are perfect. And then I also designed a card that is going to be advertising it at my table, which is basically the same design as the sticker that I'm putting on the outer packaging of the bundle as well. And I think it's a small detail, but it really elevates the overall look and makes it look like a proper real product you would see at the store. And that was super enjoyable to do, and I think it also just suits the overall look we're going for with this rebrand. Claudine. This is Frankie. Draculaura. They're pretty small, but I think they're cute. I decided to go for these little heart clips because I think it matches them pretty well. And I bought these little star and cross charms. I hope you can kind of see that. I want to add a little charm to each of them. So yeah, for Claudine, I'm definitely gonna do this star. For Frankie, I'm not sure. I think the star would also suit them. I think I have 50 stars in total, and I have 50 of Frankie and Claudine in total, so I think that'll be good. And for Draculaura, because, you know, vampire vibes and stuff, I'm thinking the cross is cute. You know, she's already defying a lot of vampire stereotypes with being vegetarian also. I'm hoping this won't hurt her. Ist gut? So ein Punk. So ein Punk. Oh mein Gott, das ist runtergefallen. We were just saying this is the most punk tree to ever be. I lost a nail. Cheers. Let go. Time to talk business cards. I touched on this in the beginning of the video, but of course my rebrand wouldn't be complete without some fancy new cards to go along with it. So these were the last 2 designs I had. I think the last time I used this one was Dokumi 2025, so about a year ago, and then after that I made this card, which I actually also designed in a YouTube video. And I still quite like it. I think the back, not as much, it's kind of boring, but the front is really cute. It has my OCs on it, and it's like a really cute, sort of like romantic, frilly, lacy design with ribbons, and it's also the first time I kind of played around with the format a bit. So my first 2 card designs were like this, and then I have the same shape, but the design is horizontal, not vertical. And now we're switching it up again. So I made a square card for the first time. On this older card, you can see I had like a little drawing of myself, like a representation of myself as the artist on the card, and I wanted to go back to that. So I wanted to keep it pretty simple but recognizable. So I came up with this mini me, I guess. It's a updated version of my avatar, my persona, I'm not sure. It's not that deep, honestly. Like, you know, I dyed my hair back to brown. It's a little bit darker than my natural color. So instead of it being very light, I got like darker hair color, but because the color scheme is green, I made it green. And it's just this little clover person. And then on the back, I also used the same dark green, which makes this look a bit like a chalkboard. And then I put the logo we designed here, all of my information there, and then this like slightly cropped out version of the same illustration from the front, just like a little doodle in the corner. And I'm pretty happy with these. I ordered 1,000 of them right off the bat because I have Leipzig Book Fair coming up. By the time you're watching this video, I'll probably be back from that con already. I'm most likely editing the convention vlog and I have a feeling it's gonna be a big one. So if you want to see everything that we worked on in this video in action on the full setup for the first time, stay tuned for that video. I think sometimes less is more, and yeah, I wanted to just keep it cute but also do something I haven't done before. So I think the square is quite nice. I also made a short reel on Instagram showing how I designed this, so I guess I'll put it in here because it kind of summarizes everything I did very quickly and was kind of fun. So come design a new business card with me. I've had the same card for 8 or 9 months or something. I'm already bored, so let's make something new. I recently dyed my hair, so I drew a little mascot character with a dark hair color, and I colored it green because my new branding for this year is going to be green.
Great vegetables.
I decided to make a square card this time because I've only ever had rectangular cards before, and I feel like this would be a fun way to change it up. I haven't received them in the mail yet, but I really hope they turn out good because I ordered like 1,000 of them. Wish me luck. With that, I think we got most of the important design tasks out of the way. We've got the new logo, banner and tablecloth to match the new aesthetic that are also using the new logo. We got new business cards, which I can put into all my purchases and online orders and people can grab them. So yeah, this is pretty important to represent yourself, which also uses the logo. Something else that I have to do now is design new signs for my artist alley setup. So price tags that kind of fit the new look, new labels for all of my different products. I'm starting to put a bit more effort into packaging, as you saw, but all those things will be pretty easy to do since we now have a new kind of established brand identity and look that we can carry over into everything. So for example, for my price tags, I'm gonna keep it very simple and just use a similar clover shape like on here, and also use like lots of green for my fonts and stuff. This was actually my first time properly like sitting down and trying to figure out like a whole new look for everything all at once, because before that it was just an accumulation of everything that I did over time as I added to my artist alley setup and started kind of treating my art as a business. But this feels like very refreshing, and I'm feeling very excited to bring all of my new things to my upcoming conventions and make new products and design a bunch of stuff and share it with you. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you're interested in seeing how everything turned out, then stay tuned for my Leipzig Book Fair vlog. It's gonna be a long one, and I will see you again very, very soon. Bye bye!